Everyone, it's Holly Marie King, and we are back with Not a Dream, the final draft. I have something really cool to show you guys today. I have the actual Not a Dream book right here. Yeah, this right here, this is the actual Not a Dream book. I know I haven't shown it before because someone stole my copy, and then I just bought both copies of my books, which I'll show you, Emblem Knights, in a minute. But this is it. It only cost me like $13 to get both. So if you guys are interested, it's not super expensive to buy my book. So, say. But anyway, and this is Emblem Knights. It's like twice the size. Look at this. It's like twice the size of this one. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen my other one, but this one I haven't seen yet. So cool. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show this off. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and start reading Not a Dream, Chapter 17. So let's just go right ahead and get started. Chapter 17, Another Town, Another Fight. The group had started to move again after the short fight had been interrupted by a very agitated Allison. Helen didn't blame the girl for being upset, but she still hated watching the fearful Allison ordering people to stop. It reminded her of her mother way too much. They didn't make any more stops that night, on account that Reggie wasn't getting tired as much as he used to. Natalie halted the group just before dawn and signaled that they should rest. The group gratefully sat down exhausted. "I think we may be at our destination," she said after a little bit of silence. She was leaning over and looked at like a cliff. She was leaning over and looked like a cliff? Yes, this looks exactly as I pictured it in my mind. "Thank goodness," Helen said with a small sigh. She was grateful to stop, but she was even more so happy that they had found the home of the next piece in the prophecy. "I think we'll stop here for the day and relax, and then go confront the new people when we've been rested." "I agree. I'm bushed," Ellen said, yawning. She stretched out on the grass and was instantly asleep. "I just thought of something," John said. Ellen snorted, but John ignored her. "I thought she was asleep. What a jerk. Why haven't the spirits been taking over when we're sleeping?" "We are still human, boy, and we wish to be in your company more than you think. Plus, we're awake when you are, and we sleep when you sleep." Allison sticking her nose in his face. "Who are you calling boy? I'm older than you, Allison," John said, stepping out of her gaze. "Sometimes I wonder if you truly are," Allison said with a sigh. "Leave him alone, Allison. Let's put our energy to going to sleep," Burke suggested to the young woman. Allison couldn't complain about the suggestion and walked off with Burke, arm in arm. Helen suddenly felt really tired. I'm going to go to sleep too, if you don't mind." She walked away from the others and curled up against a tree, falling asleep almost instantaneously. Instantaneously. I like the word instantaneously more than instantly. Helen awoke in the attic this time. She turned to look in the mirror and figured out that she was about 14. Years had passed since her father had left, and so she decided to forget about that man. She felt anger surge through her body, making her remember that she had just had a huge fight with her mother. It was about her father, like it always was about, making her lock herself in the attic, which was her room. She sat up at her mirror and stared at her reflection, thinking that despite what her mother said, she was okay. "I am a beautiful young girl, and I didn't make my father leave. He decided that for himself. It's not my fault. It's not my fault." Helen could feel tears, both mentally and physically, fall down her face. This routine that she did every time they had a fight was the only reason why she had held it together every time her mother insulted her. I'm okay. This is not my fault. Someday soon, I'll be out of here and won't ever have to look back again. I'll be okay. I'm smart and pretty. No one can say otherwise." Helen shook her head, not wanting to watch this anymore. She hated her life and hated that she had to relive what she was seeing. That was when something in the dream changed, and Helen screamed, not knowing what it meant. Helen awoke in the real world, screaming. She shook her head to get rid of it, but it wouldn't go away. "Helen?" John slid over and grabbed her by the shoulders. "You're okay. You were just dreaming." Helen hadn't realized she was still screaming until John shook her. "Oh my gosh," she gasped, holding her chest with her hand. "I'm so sorry. I just don't know what came over me." She stood shakily and shrugged John's hands off to walk over to the cliff's edge. She sat down and wrapped her hands around her knees, putting her mouth on her knees. I'm okay. Everything will be fine. It was just a bad dream. I'm okay. Allison watched her friend sadly. "She needs some time to herself," she told John, who was looking like he was about to go to her. She needs to meditate about her dream before she talks with anyone. Allison, Helen called back over her shoulder. Allison appeared. Dang it, I always miss it. I swear there was a bug. Allison appeared behind her friend. I seem to have dreamt something that hasn't happened yet. Is that supposed to happen? I don't know, Allison answered truthfully. No one has ever made it this far. My guess would be that the one the prophecy started with would know its end before everyone else, but I'm not sure. Well, a lot of help you are, Helen murmured into her knee. She hated that she was in such a foul mood. Everything kept changing about her. She had breached her number one rule, and that was not speaking of her own mother. It had taken months, maybe even years, for Helen's old best friend to even hear about her parents. What's that? There was a fog that was slowly rolling in from the east. There was a gasp, and Helen turned to see what the problem was, but the fog was so thick she couldn't see a thing. This is the fog from them. Andrew's whisper brought him into Helen's hearing range, which was good. It meant he wasn't too far away from her. Who's them? Helen asked, standing perfectly still. She hadn't forgotten that she was near the edge. They aren't spirits like us, but they're not consolidated beings either, Allison answered next to Helen's ear. When they were cursed, they didn't take it to it as well as the others, and so when they are given the chance, they come to kill the cursed. So then what do we do? Helen asked, looking around in the fog, trying to think. It was then that she saw a break in the fog below them. There was a small path that was barely visible to the eye down the pathway. Allison, is there any way you can communicate to the others that there's a way down? Allison was right next to Helen when she was looking in the direction that Helen was indicating. She could only see Allison's hand on her shoulder. Done, Allison said. She then disappeared into Helen's mind. Hurry, get out of the way. Ellen was trying to push her way to the front. Would you stop? We'll all get down the hill in enough time, John said irritably. Stay calm, you two, Helen said, taking someone's hand. We can only go down one at a time. Helen, that was John speaking with fear. His hand was wrapped around her. Yes, Helen said, pulling him closer to her. She could feel his body heat right behind her. Look down. Do you see the small path? Yeah, I see it, John said. She could feel him nodding. All right, then, go down. She held his hand until she saw him walking down the path carefully. Ellen then grabbed the next hand as quickly as she could find it. Oh my God, Ellen cried out when she felt Helen's hand in hers. Who are you? What do you want from me? Why are there so many people touching me? Ellen, calm down, Helen said, pulling her closer. She could feel Ellen's entire body shaking through their combined hands. It's just me. Ellen breathed a sigh of relief. Why didn't you just say that in the beginning? Helen sighed. Just look over the edge. She had a good grip on Ellen's arm as she walked to the edge. Do you see the path? Yes, but I don't know if I can do this, Ellen said fearfully. She made a move to back away, but Helen had too firm a grip on the girl, making it difficult for her to go anywhere. Don't worry, Ellen, I'm right here, John said from just a few paces from the top. He was waiting for the others to start walking down. He put his hand out to her, showing that he was ready for the girl to come down to him. Just reach for my hand and I'll guide you down. Ellen reached out shakily until she grabbed his hand. Helen held on until she was safely being guided by John. You won't let me fall? Ellen asked John, obviously with little faith for the man to save her life. John looked at her with a serious expression on his face. I'm not that mean, he replied to her. As if I could believe that, Ellen said haughtily. She was sure that John wouldn't let her fall when he gave her such serious looks, but it was reassuring to her to question him. Helen already had a hold of Reggie and was pulling him toward the ledge. Don't worry, nothing will happen to you on this path, John said reassuringly. He guided her the rest of the way down and then reached for Reggie's hand. When Ellen was on the ground safe and sound, she ran as fast as she could to the town. Easy now, young ones. I'm not as strong as the rest of you, Reggie said painfully as he was slowly led down the pathway. But you're a werewolf, John said with a smirk. Reggie gave him a look Helen didn't see, but John's smile faded. She had a hold of Andrew when she felt the temperature drop. Don't you think it would be easier just to give up? Andrew asked her. We are getting closer to the end of the prophecy, Helen said to the man. Why would you give up now? She could feel the slow steps of a sort of being getting closer. The temperature kept dropping as they approached the small group of humans. Besides, it seems as though there are easier ways to die. Helen could feel her breath begin to freeze in her chest. I think it would be a way to feel closer to my life, Andrew murmured. Only Helen heard him say these words. This was how my mother, she died. Helen felt a jolt of cold go down her spine, which made her thrust Andrew forward. He stumbled down the path a little bit, but was set right when John grabbed his arm. Helen screamed as the cold grew on her back. She whipped around to look at her assailants. Forgetting that she was standing by the ledge, she swayed uncertainly for a moment before falling on her butt on the pathway. A cold, clammy hand reached out and grabbed her ankle. She screamed in agony as the ice-cold hand burned her like fire. John grabbed her underarms and pulled as hard as he could until the two tumbled down the path together. The two looked up to see the people of the fog standing above them, looking eerily down at them. Then the fog began to crawl its way down to them. "Come on, we have to go," John said in Helen's ear. She tried to get up, but her ankle hurt so badly it made her stomach turn. "I can't get up," she told him, feeling panicked. John looked at her, truly worried for her well-being. He knew things were getting bad when she was panicking. John motioned for the other two men to make their way to the town. "There's only one thing to do. You're not too fast, but we'll have to move." He quickly heaved her onto his back. "Let's go." The two slowly made their way to the next town. It hadn't been too far away from the small hill they had been napping on. "I'm sorry," she whispered in John's ear, feeling embarrassed from her little mishap. "It's okay, we'll be fine," he said to her, smiling. He knew without looking at her that she was upset. "Is she okay?" Andrew asked, concern clear on his face. Father and son had slowed down so the other two could catch up. Ellen was hopping up and down on her feet trying to get the four of them to hurry up. "I'm fine, Andrew." Helen was humiliated. She didn't like people drawing attention that she was injured. Some leader she turned out to be. "Reggie, where's the next place we need to go?" John readjusted Helen's weight. "Quickly, the fog will be here, and we don't want to be outside for that." He urged the old man. He didn't much like Helen being in danger, and his feelings were intensified by Burke wanting Allison out of danger. "This way." Reggie led the others farther into the town. The fog was beginning to thicken around them again. "What is that?" Ellen asked, pointing to a figure in the darkness. "Is it one of them?" "There you are!" A figure jumped out in front of them, making Ellen jump back, grabbing John for safety. John, having carried Helen around for a good 10 minutes, actually dropped the poor girl. Helen cried out in surprise and pain as she hit the hard ground. "Ellen, go hold on to Andrew for dear life," John snapped at the distraught girl. He bent down and pulled Helen back onto his back. "Are you okay?" "I will be. But you shouldn't snap at her like that. She's only afraid," Helen said tiredly. She could feel a cold sweat all over her body, and she felt so tired. "Come on, we have to hurry." The figure was grabbing Reggie by the wrist. "The people in the fog will be here any second." "It's okay, you guys," Reggie said, looking back at the four fearful humans. They nodded and followed the strange girl into a strange home. The front door led straight to a staircase, and all the things that went in the home was a small space at the top of the stairs. When they entered the room, a young man was standing in the middle of the room waiting for them. "Why did you bring them here?" That is the end of the chapter. Wahaha. Alright. Not gonna lie, I thought we were forgetting about a couple of people when I was reading it, but I'm like, oh, that's when you meet them. After that. Anyway, we will read chapter 18. Things start getting worse next time. Again, I'm going to show you these because I'm excited. And it's probably going to be the next video too, but that's okay. These are my really cool books. Yay! I'm so excited. But yeah, anyway, if you are interested in buying this one, there will be links in the descriptions below for it. If not, that's okay too. But I just would like to share my stuff with other people, so there you go. But yeah, anyway, hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye!